Steve Adubato joins us. He's the Emmy Award-winning anchor on State of Affairs on PBS. He's the author of Lessons in Leadership. And thank goodness he's been following this gubernatorial race in New Jersey, and he's got some big interviews coming up this weekend on it, because I'm glad you're covering it, Steve. Welcome to the show, because I don't know who else is.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to start the show. But, Len, I got to tell you this. First of all, I'm thrown off by the Vinland map thing. Now I am obsessed with this. It's like what could be more interesting than the New Jersey governor's race, I'll tell you that.
Well, but what's now? Tell me, be honest. Is it a race, or is this just a Phil Murphy cakewalk over Jack Ciattarelli?
You know, it's actually, New Jersey is such a blue state, Len and Michael. It's people don't realize that New Jersey has gotten more and more Democratic. It's harder and harder for a Republican to get elected. Ciattarelli's an interesting candidate. He's compelling. He's attractive. He comes across well on TV. But I got to tell you, New Jersey is a lot of urban communities that vote Democratic. They're very, very blue, as I said. So Ciattarelli's got this other problem. Murphy's got a huge problem, a real issue around their nursing homes, and I still seriously question the decision about sending people back. 8,000 people died. I don't, quote, blame him for those deaths, but I wish he would take more responsibility for his actions. Ciattarelli's problem, he's still tied to Donald Trump. And in some states, Alabama, Texas, that's not a problem. New Jersey, that's a real problem. And he was part of the Stop the Steal. He says he wasn't. He was at a rally, a Stop the Steal rally, Confederate flags, the whole bit. That doesn't play well in the Garden State with Bruce Springsteen. It really doesn't. So it's a 10, 9-point race. I hope it gets closer so people are more interested and engaged. But right now, Murphy's spending just a little bit of his fortune to get out on TV, and he's way ahead.
How was Chris Christie able to get in there?
That's a good one, Michael. Christie was more of a moderate. I give Christie this. No, he did not run a great race for president, but when he ran for governor, he got a large number of Black and Hispanic votes. He campaigned in urban communities. He connected with people from all across the state. He also ran against a very weak incumbent governor at the time, Corzine, and then again another weak Democratic candidate who ran against him the second time. Christie was a very moderate Republican who connected in New Jersey, and he's Jersey. To get that, quote, hell off the beach, as he said during the Hurricane Sandy, that kind of thing connected with people, and he's Jersey. He just really was, and he's an anomaly in a state like New Jersey to be elected as a Republican governor.
All right, so you did in-depth interviews with Phil Murphy and Jack Ciattarelli, which you're going to air this weekend. Here's a clip of Ciattarelli from your interview. The issue was climate change.
Is climate change very real in your mind?
Climate change is real, and it's accelerated by human activity. We need a national energy policy that galvanizes our citizens and gets all 50 states on the same page. We're not going to be able to solve global warming one little state at a time.
Well, that's interesting. At least he acknowledges that it's real for a Republican. That's not the norm.
No, it's not. But I will say this about Ciattarelli. He's got some very reasonable positions that play well in New Jersey. His problem, as I said, some of the Trump stuff. And the other thing is, I don't know why he brought this up, but he starts saying, I want to change the LGBTQ plus curriculum. It shouldn't be taught in the schools. He kept using the word, you can't teach sodomy to sixth graders. It was very inflammatory. Truth is, a lot of people agree with that philosophy, but the problem is the way he framed it, Len, was very right-wing reactionary, and again, doesn't play well in a state like New Jersey. I have no idea why he even brought it up.
Yeah, I thought that was a mistake too, but what's not a mistake is, and he really has got to hammer home this point, I mean, the tax rates in New Jersey are among the highest in the country, and I know a lot of my friends in New Jersey who are Democrats, but they complain bitterly about the state taxes.
Michael, we are proudly the state with the highest property taxes. I live in Montclair. I can attest to this. The highest property taxes in the nation, and it's an abomination. It's never been addressed. And I will say this, Phil Murphy doesn't really acknowledge, in my view, the serious nature of that property tax problem. And his answer to a lot of questions is we're going to tax wealthier people. Okay, it sounds great, but how many people do you know in New Jersey who now have residence in Florida? One more than half of the number of days in the year. You lose all that revenue. You lose all that income tax revenue. And property tax problem is really serious in New Jersey, and Ciattarelli's got to hammer away on that and on, frankly, the nursing home issue, and he might have a chance.
Hey, Steve, before we run, we're sitting here doing a show in the tri-state area, and I can't tell you how little the name Murphy comes up. I mean, can you objectively tell us what kind of a job he has done as New Jersey governor?
Phil Murphy is a decent human being, seems like a very nice, very rich person from Goldman Sachs, who, I've interviewed many times. He's okay. His wife, the First Lady, Tammy Murphy, dynamic, strong, very effective in what she does. I'll say this about Murphy. He seems like a reasonable guy, but the concern that some people have is he's way too far left. He also, I got to tell you, he roots for the Red Sox. I can't deal with that as a Yankee fan. I don't want to inject sports into politics. I know it screws things up. He doesn't connect with some people in New Jersey, but there are a lot of people who are going to vote for Murphy who don't even know who he is because he has a D after his name, and so Democrats get elected in the state.
Steve Adubato, good stuff. Steve, we got to run. Steve's the anchor of State of Affairs, airs on PBS, also the author of Lessons in Leadership. Hey, when we need some New Jersey news, come back and visit us, okay, Steve?
I will, and I'm going to get the Katie Curry book today.
Okay, well, I don't think it's out yet, but
that's true.
Let me know what she says about me, because I'm sure it's a big topic. No, I'm kidding. All right, thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Steve.